Did he retweeted us?
I think he has alert set for me. All right, we're live. So welcome. You thought Hangtough crypto was dead, and you were wrong, my friends. We're on a once-a-year pace right now, but hey, that's all right.
We're back, baby.
We're back. We're gonna pick this pace up though. Our cadence. We're gonna try to do this on a weekly basis here. So my name's Goldie. My friend on the other end, David Jeffries, aka Bird.
I'm Bird.
Hanging out. So what we're gonna do, a lot has changed since the last time we did one of these shows. So Bird, I'll let him introduce himself in a second, but I basically, he's one of my closest friends, has been for a majority of my life, and he's been in the crypto game for quite some time. And myself just hopped in, not just at this point anymore, but I got into the NFT space, specifically Solana, last November. So we thought it'd be cool to kind of do recon throughout the week. We both primarily exist in these worlds that run congruent to each other, but kind of different. And we thought it'd be cool to come together once a week and just kind of discuss what we're seeing, news and events and trends and stuff like that. And it's going to change thanks to your input. Anything that you want to see, that you request, or any suggestions, we're up for it. And let's just kick it off. So Bird, why don't you kind of explain yourself a little bit here, give a little intro.
Yeah, let's go. I'm excited to be back on the show. Been thinking about it the last couple days. I think, there's a way we can structure it where we can, have like a general kind of catch-up chat in the beginning, and then just pack it with like a lot of dense information and explore, lots of projects. The way that you had, part of what I'm thinking is the way that you were at Herbex and kind of had a window into his life, for those couple weeks. I'm hoping this show can maybe be like a window into like my crypto life, like what I'm looking at, what I've done, and where I'm going. And then on your side of things, you bring like the NFT, and you're really laser focused on like NFTs and communities and Solana. So I think we combine those, and it should be a lot of like dense information.
I love that. So I think let's get it kicked off. I'll kick it off if that's cool. I think it'd be cool to kind of like go over the happenings of the week. You know what I mean? Some big bullet points, things to look out for, things that have happened. I got a couple chambers in the bullets in the chamber here that I'm ready to roll with, if that's cool.
Yeah, let's go.
So I'm going to say, first of all, I think the big news of the week in the Solana space is a project called Utes. It's Y00TS. Bird, if you want to look that up on your screen instead of looking at Biddy's profile here, look up Utes, Y00TS. Now, this one is dropping on Sunday. Now, this is, I don't know if you remember, Bird, when we went to lunch last week, on the way over there, I'm like, this Utes thing is gaining a lot of momentum.
I don't remember specifically, but I saw you tweeted that you filled out the application, and I read about it last night.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on here. So basically, what's been happening is DeGods has taken over the space. DeGods is basically the Bored Apes of the Solana blockchain. Obviously, not to the same extent, but you know what? I didn't put a link to our show. Oh no, I did. Never mind. Okay. Anyway, DeGods is basically the Bored Ape of the Solana blockchain. It got up to, I think, 550, 560 Solana floor price last week. So just unbelievable. And because of that, excitement, Frank has, Dust is the, that's not it. It's Y00TS. Not OO.
Looks like Utes to me.
All right, I'm in. But the way it works is, so DeGods, if you stake your DeGods, you've Dust, and then there's different projects that involve Dust. That's their token. So Utes is an offshoot project of the DeGods, and they're personally accepting each and every individual who's whitelisted for the project. And they basically broke the internet. They were suspended off. They were suspended off of Twitter. Both DeGods and Utes. I think they got their accounts back yesterday, which is just absolutely crazy that happened the week of an enormous launch. So they're still finalizing all the whitelist spots. That's them right there. So they're
So
just
this is like maybe it looks like DeGods metaverse play.
yeah, that's what it's going to be, I believe. Um, so they're
And
white, but
that's
it's
so cool how they're putting together like an elite squad. There's different
yep.
ways to do this.
I've
I
never
like
seen
the
it done
whitelist.
this way. I think it's incredible.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so I
And
applied.
there's gonna be 15,000 of them, and they're pretty expensive, right? They're what, $1,000, 1,300,
I don't know the price. I think
even
you have to
for
buy them
even
in
for like.
dust.
Oh yeah, it's in dust.
Yeah,
I thought I read 1,300 last night. But that's a pretty heavy sticker price, but
it's
it gives you access to that elite community.
that's right. It's the elite community, and with these guys, they're basically they've already established themselves. This isn't a project starting from scratch. This is just another layer on top of already strong existing projects. So that's
Yeah.
I applied for it. It's still up in the air. Still waiting to see if I get accepted or not. The cool thing is that they continually send out lists of everyone who's been approved, and most of the people who've been approved are in that like 1,000 to 3,000 follower range on Twitter. So they're not going for whales. They're not going for these the gargantuan influencers. They're going for people who are grinding, working their butts off, who bring real value to a community. And when you filled out the application, it was you kind of and look at that. You says right in the front of Magic Eden. So there you go.
Oh,
And they
Sunday at 2 p.m. Oh, so
yeah
yeah, this is coming soon.
yeah yeah.
Did they finalize the list yet?
Not yet. I think they're doing it today. I think that was their plan. Um, and then the only other thing, so that's like the big news of the week right now is Utes taking it by storm right now. Everyone in the Solana space is talking about that. It's the NFT project to be a part of. The other thing I will say, and a bit of a personal note, but it's very um, relevant to the show, is I just signed a contract with a company called TradeZing. If you want to pull that up, Bird, you could take a look at that. We'll head back on Magic Eden, look at the DeGods in a second, but pulled up TradeZing because I want to show you guys. If you're listening to the show, obviously you're trying to get some value out of cryptos or NFTs. This website, here you go, the top one. So it's built. It's a confluence of like YouTube and Twitch coming together, and they actually have YouTube developers that jumped YouTube to help to make this project. So they were looking for they signed 100 influencers that are organic, that aren't massive, that they see potential in. To oh shoot, hold on, my Zoom's about to end, so I got to upgrade here. But basically, it's a community for trading, and you can see stocks, crypto, NFT, metaverse, and investments. So they hired me for the NFT stuff. So I'm going to really start hitting that on January 1st is when they're going to start onboarding most of their influencers. And it's a platform where you can stream, they have videos on demand, and it has an ecosystem like Twitch where they have bits. So you can, you put money into it, and then you get bits back, and then you can donate bits to your favorite streamers. So I'm going to be making, just as much content, if not more, but I'll have some exclusive stuff that is going to be on TradeZing as well. So it's a website exclusively for people who are interested in those subjects that are listed on that website. And I think it's a great idea. It's blowing up. And I just wanted to kind of, put it out there, let you know that that's what's been going on in my life. I think that's pretty big news for me, at least. And yeah, so that's it. So that's my happenings of the week.
Nice. Well, congratulations. That's a good deal. I just signed up for the wait list. I know.
I'm watching you do it.
Yeah, if you can see the screen, I love the way they do this, like your position in the wait list. It reminds me of Robinhood. Robinhood did it like that. It's just a good way to like launch a product cold.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah, there is a lot of people, and sometimes it can be spoofed. Like it would be
Right.
disappointing if that number was spoofed. It kind of might be. I don't know. That's a big number. What kind of deal did they give you? How'd they find you?
So they organically go through YouTube and they just look for people who are making content in the verticals that they want to showcase on the website. So they got me for the Solana stuff, the Solana NFT stuff. They like the content that I was making. They like the daily show that I do. Just I'm genuine in everything that I do. I'm not over the top. I'm not, you talk to me outside of this kind of stuff, and I'm exactly the way that I am here. So I just am excited about everything in general, and they really liked it. What I really liked about it too is that they're not making it exclusive to TradeZing. It's actually quite the contrary. So a lot of people who reach out to you, they'll say, well, let's sign you, but our content or your content is exclusive to us either forever, in perpetuity, or, a certain amount of time, like on Twitch, they own your videos if you're a partner until a certain amount of time. So for them, they're like, no, keep doing everything you're doing. There's no requirement on how much content you need to make. It's actually better for you to go out there and talk about TradeZing. And, so I'm thinking, maybe once a week, I do a live show where I bring some kind of value, where there'd be a reason for you to watch my show on a weekly basis on TradeZing. And then everything else is, on YouTube and TradeZing. You know what I mean? So I'm just, I got months to think about it, but definitely thinking about it.
Yeah, that's great. Is it a video show, video format?
Yeah, it's like Twitch and YouTube combined. The way the format.
Oh, really?
I've seen when I hopped on a Zoom call to kind of finalize all the details. He showed me the beta of the website, and it's exactly like what you would think if Twitch and YouTube had a baby. That's really what it looks like.
With a crypto, is there a crypto like D2?
So it's yes. I forgot exactly. I think they're called Zings.
Okay, so yeah, that's right up my alley. Is the social media crypto.
Yeah, it's a cool. I don't know if it's crypto though. It's kind of like on Twitch, it's bits.
Yeah, have you ever like an off-chain point system?
Yeah, it's a point system for sure. I don't know if it's tied to a crypto per se, but then maybe some. I don't know. I mean, I'm still a couple months away from actually being officially started on there, but he did show me the beta. It's a really cool idea.
Nice. Yeah, we should keep it. It sounds like they're building the right thing.
Yeah, it's a cool idea. I think there's definitely a market for it, obviously, and just excited that they reached out to me to give me a shot.
So let's yeah, that's great. So like for getting back to you, should we make a prediction? Like maybe just to.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the price of DeGods, they got it up there, $5.29. Does that say right now?
Yeah,
that's just astronomical. Go back to DeGods, click on the analytics, and then go all time. Tab or scroll down a little bit to the all time.
All the hype and focus is on them right now.
Yeah, this literally everyone in the Solana space is talking about.
Yeah, so that's what, 15K, 16K for the blue chip.
Yep. So scroll down a little bit. Click on the all-time chart. Take off promo too. Yeah, toggle that off. And then click to all-time on the bottom left. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's really nice analytics.
Yeah, it is. So there you go. So you can see it's at an all-time high, and it's not a coincidence that it's, on the heels of the Utes, minting on Sunday. And I think it's because the more DeGods that you own, obviously the more dust that you can collect, and that's going to be valuable in the Utes ecosystem. I think that's what's going to hurt me, honestly, in the application, because I was too broke to buy a DeGod. I have no dust. And in the application process, you link your wallet when you apply, and I don't have any dust, and it shows like on the page of your application status how much dust you have. So I don't know how heavily that weighs on the decision-making process. I mean, obviously, fingers crossed, hope it doesn't, but I'm sure they'd want to see you owning some kind of dust if they were to accept me into the program. But hey, we'll see, right? I can only do what I can do.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, good luck. That's something definitely to keep an eye on. I think so. Sunday at 2 p.m. most likely. That's cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I forget, they're minting at well, let's try to look it up. What are they minting at?
I had a number and I forgot though. All right, I am. You're seeing an amateur show live. I'm signing up for Zoom Annual right now.
Nice.
What is going on here? Can't I just buy it monthly?
So the art's similar to DeGods, and yeah, it's like their Gen 2 kind of play. Make it an elite community. I definitely like that. How many people do you think?
I think it's only 3,500.
Like, how many eyeballs are on views right now? Like,
oh, eyeballs?
100,000 people? Is there a million?
Every
million
person
people?
that has ever heard of Solana. Yeah. I mean, this is. I think they got banned or suspended from. I think they got suspended from Twitter because so many people were talking about them. I think it got misconstrued as spam. I think that's what happened. That's what the buzz is.
Yeah, they thought it was a bot.
Yeah, it's not a bot.
You'll
But
need
like so many people were
375
talking about it.
So there's going to be 15,000 of them.
There you go. You'll need 375 dust. So how much is that? Dust is at what? And the price of dust is going up too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty close. Okay, so that 375 dust. I don't know when this article was written. Probably recently, a week ago. So relatively recently. Dust would be 750. I think that doubled. Should we check the price of dust now?
Yeah.
Do we know how to check it?
I don't know where it's traded.
Oh yeah. All right. Let's. Well, so my favorite. Yeah, this I think can be kind of like a theme in the show too. Is just learning how to like navigate crypto together, and I'll get into some NFT and some racing projects, and you get into some of the financial so we'll kind of try to expand the horizons.
Yeah, I think that's great. I love that. So
my favorite on Solana is Jupiter. It's a DEX.
Okay.
They don't have a token yet, so one day maybe they just drop a token. But it's one of the top DEX. It's one of the top DEX aggregators. It's really just nice and clean, and what it does is it routes your money through all the other exchanges.
Sorry if I'm a little quiet. I'm trying to upgrade my Zoom so we don't get cut off right now. It's not as easy as you think. Here we go. Ah, shoot. Where'd it go? There we go. You still there? Oh, I think we got cut off. Okay, so sit tight, folks. We are getting it done here. Hold on. Hold on, team. Stay tuned. Enjoy the nice music. We're almost done. All right, so my account has been upgraded, folks. So now we're going to send Byrd the invite. All right. So now we're going to invite Byrd back to this. All right. So in the meantime, while we wait for Byrd. Oh, hello. All right. In the meantime, while we wait for Byrd, I am going to go through. Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm going to go through some of my NFTs with you while we wait for Byrd to hop on. So we are in my wallet right now. And something that I noticed today, which I'm very excited about, is Alpha League Racing right here. Why am I excited about this? Well, because this is the first time that they're under that tradable toggle on Magic Eden. So they're verified. They're good to go. Now, the mint does end for these guys on September 4th. So if you're interested in this, it's a game. It's a play-to-earn racing game. And they built the game first, and now they're building the crypto like on top of it. So it's a really fun game. It's very easy to play. I play with a PlayStation controller. You can play with a keyboard if you have any other kind of controllers. With the USB port, you just plug it in. Good to go. And they're minting for 0.25 right now. So taking a look at the marketplace for these guys, you'll see the price is below the mint price. Now, you may be asking why. Why is that below the mint price? Well, some of these are a lower evolution. They call them EVOs. Here we go. So Byrd's back, staring at us. Let's see. What's up? Can you hear me, Byrd?
Yep.
All right, cool. Where did you go?
The meeting ended.
Yeah, no, not there. I was talking about like here we go. I had to upgrade. Wow, Big Byrd. Heyo.
I think, can you disable the screen sharing, or can you enable?
There we go. Screen sharing, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There we go. Share it up.
All right, so I'll try to share the right window look like.
Sorry for the hiccup, folks, but we're back, baby. I paid the big bucks to get us upgraded.
Send out the bad alert.
Bad alert. We never stopped. The show's been live the whole time. It's just the Zoom call ended. So, hey, let's pick up where we left off. So, we're talking about Utes minting on Sunday, and we're diving into what exactly that means. So, we looked, and it's going to be 375 dust. Was that correct?
Yeah.
375 dust to mint. Dust is the token of the DeGods. So, now we are on, what's the website that you're using?
Well, we're trying to find how much dust is and where it trades.
That's where we're at. When we got cut off.
I don't think it's this dust protocol, but
yes, that's it.
It is it?
That is it. Yep.
Oh wow, so like these guys are really going like this is like a yeah, let's check out their site. So it's shaping up to be pretty serious, like NFT project, DeGods. Like maybe I would call it maybe like the Bored Apes of Solana.
I already said that.
Sounds like they're putting a lot of pieces together in the right way. Blue chip NFT, then you have a token, then you go do a metaverse project. That seems just to be like a common format.
And these guys are definitely winning the culture war, I'll say. I mean, their name is every, but I would say the difference between, at least in my opinion, and I don't mean to sound like, I don't know, I'm just going to say it. The Bored Apes community kind of seems toxic sometimes, what I've discovered in different, I've never interacted with anyone personally, but I'm talking about like the bigger Solana influencers or bigger, bigger figures in the Solana space compared to the bigger figures in the Ethereum space. A lot of the Ethereum NFT guys and gals, they kind of look down upon Solana a little bit. And, because it's worth more and it's higher risk, not higher risk, higher, they're just playing a different game, right? At a much different level. And the Bored Ape stuff, there's a lot of like looking down on. And I don't get that vibe at all from the DeGods, which is what I really like about the project. I just have had nothing but good interactions with them.
Okay, cool. So a good wholesome feel, good wholesome degenerate NFT project feel.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's awesome.
So you talk to them and you go in the Discord, or people that are
Twitter mostly.
Mostly on Twitter.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, this is the Dust utility token then. So yeah, Dust, probably like how they're calling it protocol. That's just a good sign because it has the ethos of like it's becoming something more than just a shitcoin NFT token.
Mm-hmm.
So my favorite way to trade coins on Solana is Jupiter. And Jupiter, so it's an aggregator. So it's not an exchange itself, but what it does is it routes your trades through all the other exchanges and finds the most efficient route.
Is it Jupiter? What's the website?
jup.ag.
Got it.
So I guess to see the price, I'll have to connect. Oh no, you're right there. You can see it. Okay, so one dust, routed through 2 different exchanges to get the optimal price, which is pretty cool. It's 286.
That's really cool.
So 375. I'll put this. I'm gonna put this on another tab. I don't think you'll be able to see it. I hope this. Just let me know if this screen stays set.
No.
You can still see the screen, right?
I can see. I'm on the screen. This is how many Utes NFTs will be there, or will there be, and how much will you?
Because this is our first. Yeah, I'm just making a note in our show note form. This will be our first Redbook prediction.
So it looks like I love this Redbook.
We got 375 times 286 each. Did I say?
So 1,071 it looks like.
286. Yeah, 1,071. Okay,
yeah.
so like 1,200.
I did dust. I'm on that website. I did dust to USDC.
Okay.
1,069.25, somewhere in the neighborhood.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye on the price. I guess we got to keep an eye on the price before mint, which might go up, but we'll just say ballpark like 1,200. So I think if it pops off, it definitely like. So if you get whitelisted like tomorrow or something, it's like almost a sure thing you have to buy that because it's. Yeah, what do you think? Do you think the price will go up or down after mint?
I think skyrocket because.
It'll reach like DeGods parity. So skyrocket is 15. So DeGods is like 15K.
Yeah. And so, I think because
the supply is higher. The supply is higher. There's 50% more of them, right? Because there's 10,000 DeGods.
Well, and this is just my personal assessment of the whitelisted people, but I think they're trying to get people on board that don't have DeGods that bring value to the ecosystem. Because I think they're trying to strike a balance to where people aren't going to be flipping these things. If I get whitelisted, I don't have a DeGod. This is my way into the community. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's how they're going about it. I think there's a certain
and like this will be an interesting one to watch because like if they do it right, like there won't be wells. Like you won't be able to just like someone won't be able to buy like 50
right
and then dump them.
Someone just bought a DeGod for I think over $200,000 recently too.
Yeah. The gold one, I think I saw on Twitter.
Yeah, with like the hat or the helmet with the wings on it.
All right, so mint's on Sunday. My prediction by our show next Friday, 5,500.
Okay, so 5,500. So that's. Let me get a calculator out.
I'd like a 3x, maybe 3 to 5x.
So put it in the red book. You're saying, what'd you say?
3 to 5x, 5,500 by next Friday, by the next show.
And let's just assume the price of Solana stays about where it is. Let's say, and you're going to love this, let's say it's $33, okay? So you're talking 166 Solana with Solana at $33.
So I use here's an interesting like philosophical like kind of tangent. I use dollars are just a much more effective measuring stick, I think. So I use dollars as my measuring stick, but like I had this conversation with like the Bitcoin meetup guys, and they were just you know. So I find this interesting, like because you use Sol as your measuring stick, where I would use dollars as my measuring stick.
You know why I like using Sol? Because it's a bear market right now, and even if it gets worse, I think in the long term it's going to go up, right? I wouldn't be wasting my time in this if I just throwing money into a pit, right? And the example that I did use for a while was DeGods, because back in November, if you bought a DeGod, say for 50 Solana, and you compare that 50 Solana to, when it was going up and up and up and up, well, the price of the Solana, the floor price didn't change. It's the price of Solana that changed. And I get what you're saying. It's like dollars.
Yeah, but there's massive swings. Like there's massive 10,000, like $10,000.
Because it's volatile, right? Because a dollar is a dollar. It doesn't change. That's just what it's going to be.
So I guess I wonder what DeGods. So DeGods right now are like 16K. Well, I wonder what the peak was in dollar terms.
Right, and that's exactly the point I'm making. I like this.
I mean, that's like life change. For some people, that's life changing money. Like if you just make 75K. So that's why I think it's important to track in dollar terms too. But what tracking in Solana terms, the advantage it gives you is you want to identify the projects that are undervalued relative to the rest of the pack.
Right.
So tracking in Solana or ETH or the native coin terms is good for that.
And
then you want
And that's what gets me, intrigued about all this stuff is this is happening. Maybe not on that scale, but there are projects that mint for a quarter, a half a sol that go to 10 every day, and there's tens of them that do that every day. If you literally just sat here and focused on, you know, trend, because on Magic Eden, I don't know if you're aware of this. Head over to Magic Eden. I'm going to show you this real quick. This is I've not had the balls to kind of really dive in hard and do this, but maybe it might be a fun practice one day for me and you to sit down and do this, like on the show, maybe do it live. So head over to Magic Eden.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there, sorry.
Oh, you're good. I'm not yelling.
Yell me. All right, Magic Eden homepage.
All right, so on the left, you're going to go to Insights. And then go to Stats. This is a relatively new feature. So on the top right, see it says last 24 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the increments that you can divide that by. Go click on that drop down. You can look at 5 minutes.
Nice.
So I think
I love the product that Magic Eden is building.
They're doing great, right?
It's just incredible. And so my perspective on it, I hadn't opened Magic Eden in maybe 3 months until last night.
Really?
Which I know you'll probably find hard to believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like I've seen it's a lot of changes, and I love studying these projects for so many different reasons. And part of what I love studying is like product development, like UI, UX, like user experience, user interface. And it just was I was always really impressed. And then you see it stretch to a point where there was some problems, like when, you know, in December, into the spring, like last year, or into the spring of earlier this year, where there was just so many, there was probably like 250,000 people just banging on it every day.
A lot of failed transactions, and it couldn't keep up. The TPS was really low. Yeah. And
now coming back like 3 months later, like they've made a lot of changes. I didn't like the layout of the home screen at first, but all these analytics, like really good, really tight. So here, last 5 minutes.
It's pretty cool, right? And you can see, and I like the statistics that they give you too. So on my movers and mints, I do the past 24 hours, and then on Tuesday, I do the past week to kind of look at a broader spectrum of what's going on. And then the other thing that I do on a daily basis on the movers and mints, go over to the go to on the top left where it says marketplace. Do the drop calendar.
So here's your mints, yeah.
So then I filter by Solana, because Ethereum and Solana are both on here. And then where it goes upvotes, I'll click upvotes. So you're filtering by the top down. And what I like about this is it's a way to combat botting. So
because you can't spoof this number.
You can't, because you have to log in order to cast an upvote. So there's not one indication of like a solid project, but as you know, obviously there's a lot of different factors that go into solid projects. And to me, at least, one indicator that a project is going in the right direction is the strength of the community. So you'll see in the Discord, you know, I can guarantee you the commonality with all these top projects that have a ton of upvotes is that they have incentives for the community members to go into Magic Eden and cast an upvote. And to me, that shows a good sign of a promise for that project. Obviously, it could be wrong, but at least, you know, I think that's why I start with all, and I've done deep dives on all these on the shows. Like Idols Casino, that is like the creepiest project of all time. It's an offshoot of Idols, and it's like they have a boobs collection, they have a butts collection. It's like for creepy anime people. It's real weird. But obviously it has a strong community, you know.
Yeah, so these are all pretty like neck and neck. I bet there's probably like 5,000 people that look at this every day. I always try to step back and like determine like the actual number of people like touching this stuff, and then you can kind of determine like how much money can potentially flow into these.
Yeah, and I like to look at their overall, I don't know, like portfolio is not the right word, but I like to see what's their website look like, how's their Discord set up, does their Twitter followers match kind of their people and the number of people in the Discord and the number of upvotes, you know, because then you can tell when there's anomalies if they're buying followers. Obviously, that's not a good sign because you're artificially representing your project. So there's a lot of these different things that I like to look at before I do it on the show every day, you know?
Yeah. So are you buying these and tracking them? Like, have you had any big wins?
No, I'm not buying them just because it'd be an endless money pit. I mean, one of the things
Yeah.
Gary Vee said a while ago that stuck with me is he made the comparison of websites. Like, back in the late 90s, there were a million different search engines. Everyone knew that a search engine was a desirable feature for a web browser. So everyone was trying to build one. Well, 99% of them didn't make it. Obviously Google is the one that won. So he compared that to the NFT space. And, as you can see with kind of DeGods separating themselves, Bored Apes separating themselves in the Ethereum world, like, that's why, like, I invest in projects that I really like and believe in, because even if those do crash and burn, at least I believed in it and I really liked it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to you're not supposed to invest with emotion, right? I get that, but I at least want to put my money behind something that I enjoy being a part of the community. Like, I don't want to just throw my money to something because I think it's going to take off and then it never does and I lost my money because of that. Like with Alpha Weight Racing, for instance. Like, I've stuck with them since the beginning. I'm with them right now. I love them. And they're doing everything they can to be successful. If it doesn't become successful and I lose the money that I invested in them, so be it. They're great people and I really enjoy being a part of that community. I'd rather have an experience like that as opposed to just throwing money at ducks with attitudes because a lot of people like it on the drop calendar. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously the upside would be, more more irons in the fire. That's, if I just bought one, every time I did one of these, I bought it. Well, that's a lot of money. And I don't know. I'd rather go about it the way I'm doing than that other way of just kind of haphazardly throwing money around.
Yeah, I mean, I did the haphazard money thing, but it was a calculated move. So part of why I just had to get away from, why I had to kind of step back from Magic Eden is I made an allocation almost 20K, and I definitely lost money. Last night I went through all my, because what I'm doing now is I'm selling NFTs for a loss to harvest the long-term capital losses to offset that against the capital gains I made last year or this year. And so most of the NFTs are a loss. Right. I made about $6,000 after tax on Solana Monkey business, but I definitely gave that back. And I definitely gave that and maybe double back with getting into, the pixel. We can go, maybe not today, but we can go. Part of what I want this show to be is I'm just an open book. I'm just going to talk about all my trades, all my, kind of how I look at crypto, how I look at building wealth through crypto. And I think it's a good time to do the show for me because I recently lost a couple consulting jobs. So right now I have no income coming in other than, well, I sold all my crypto recently. I sold maybe 80, almost 90% of my crypto in the last two weeks, which is a pretty big deal. And so that gave me 100K reserve, 50K to live on, and then and then another 100K to deploy. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the markets every day and I'm hoping there's going to be a bottom next year. And so part of this is, keeping an eye on the stock market.
Why don't we pull up Coinbase, or so we can talk about some graphs that you're talking about. You know what I mean? Because you said the bottom next year. Kind of talk about why you think the way you think. You know what I mean? Kind of show and graph.
Yeah. So I love, my favorite's CoinGecko. I used to go to CoinMarketCap every day, but CoinGecko just has the better graphs. And so I'm doing so in this, what I'm doing now is I'm focusing on, so I have some runway. Really all I want to be is self-made, kind of crypto investor. I don't want to have to go get another job. So it's just a really interesting time because last year making all that money with PancakeSwap, I thought I was set, and I kind of erroneously thought I was set, and there's been some different stages of how how I thought about crypto and wealth building. And then, I've kind of been forced to make some moves. And then when everything started falling apart, I didn't want to just, have not enough money in the bank and just watch the crypto go down again. Like I've done that. I've done that a couple times, but I was living a little simpler life then, so I was okay to just, you know, ride it, just purely ride it out and just know that the next bubble's coming. But now I'm not sure, so I don't really want to play. Like I don't want that much exposure to it.
Well, I'm not as I'm not as vested as you are in all this, and I think the lesson that I've learned so far is you constantly have to be on the hunt. And I think, especially with someone like in the position that you're in, I feel like even more so, you know, like you can never, maybe it was a lesson in never getting comfortable, you know, regardless of where you're at, just don't get comfortable, constantly look forward, look ahead, you know?
Yeah, there's an element to that. Like, I think my mistake was, I mean, and I did pretty good. I captured like 30-40% of my all-time high in cash terms, like after tax. Like, so I did pretty good. But the way I'm thinking about it, I think it's going to help you a little bit, because, you know, if our goals in the next cycle to just both be self-made crypto NFT millionaires that have, you know, influencer shows like that, that's totally possible in 2 years. And I think it takes a combination of what we both have. It takes, like, you know, my kind of strategic analyst, you know, insight, knowing how these things move, you know, basically dedicating my life to try to master emotions around trading. And then your kind of just daily grit of just do it, look at it. I'm trying to kind of combine those things into just, that's my life now. Like every day I'll get a couple coins, every day I'll stake a couple new projects. So that's what I've been doing all week, is just really getting ready. If there's a bottom, just being 100% ready, like having your tax paid, having all the accounting done, and just being ready to strike. And so when Bitcoin did this move, let's see.
And while you're pulling that up, I was going to say, just to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying, I use the analogy, I've just kind of been trying to frame it this way in my head. You know, I'm 36 years old. You're about to be 36 years old. If you looked at our journey through, let's say, social media, for technology, video games, whatever, you know, that world, right? We've grown up with this stuff. We've seen from the beginning every iteration of it, the internet even. Like we've been around for this. We've grown with it. If you were to introduce, you know, someone older than us you just show them TikTok, their head's gonna fall off. You know, like they're like, what the hell is this? But we understand all the iterations that led up to that point. And that's how I see NFTs and crypto. That's what drives me to be in that daily grind every day, because you don't have to fully understand what's going on. You just have to be a part of it, hear people talking about it, and seeing it to be pulled along in the journey. So in a year from now, in 2 years from now, 3 years from now, however it may exist in the future, you'll have understood where you started, and you'll have understood the direction that it's gone to get to that point. And that's the way I see it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So that's like
the journey definitely can pull you along, and it definitely can be rewarding.
Yeah.
Like life-changing, rewarding, where you make cool friends, you work on cool projects, and, you know, and hopefully you get enough money to be like financially independent, like a couple $1 million. So that's, you know, that's my goal now. But it's like sort of make or break. Like I'm at a moment where last year, you know, if I would have sold the top here, paid the 30-40% tax, like I could be sitting on like $500,000 if I would have like played it perfectly. And I didn't do that. So now, you know, I've got like a 2-year reserve. I've got 1 year to live on, and then I've got 100K to deploy. And so I'm basically like I did basically from like 2017 on, is I'm betting my life on this chart.
And I was going to say, we've done a show before, but for people watching, like, why don't you point out on the graph when you got into it?
So I first bought Bitcoin. I was the dumbest money in at this top. So this was the don't panic days. I literally bought the 29th, I think, it was either that Thursday, Friday, or that Saturday is when I had my Coinbase account set up. I put my first $10 in, and then it just crashed. So it was like, this was kind of funny, and then it, you know, kind of bounced up. It might have been this, it might have been this. So I put my first $10 in then, and then I realized
13.
Yeah, and then I realized and then I realized like I was like really focusing on trying to learn trading and like learn trade. And so I'd been burned on silver a little bit, right? Put a couple $100 in silver. It was all the heightened energy and emotions, and then silver goes and crashes. So I saw the same kind of thing here. So I sort of stopped buying. I had like an auto buy on where I got 1 Bitcoin. And so I got my first Bitcoin, my cost was like $600. But I bought $10 here, and then was real excited about it. I bought a little in here, and then I realized it's gonna pump and it's gonna dump. I realized we were in a bubble, and I stopped buying. And all the guys in the meetup were just dumping money in, and I'm like, "What? You're pretty stupid. Like, it's gonna go to 400. It's gonna go to 200. But then when it goes that low, the excitement goes away, and so you don't have the excitement to buy that you did at the top. And so I didn't buy. You should have like went all in at the bottom. So it's kind of funny. Like I was right in like a very short term like point of view, but I was like definitely wrong, you know, not going all in long term.
That is wild to think. Don't you want to? I mean, it's all part of the learning process, right? But don't you want to go back and kick your ass? Just be like, why wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, and that's part of what, you know. And I'm glad. I really, there's not many people to share it with, but that's like, I'm glad you get to see it now, and we kind of found a name for it: infinite regret.
Yeah.
Like, there's just infinite regret in this space. And there's a couple other stories. I won't do it today, but maybe I'll do like one a week or one every so often. But there's one I'm going to show you where I'm going to show you a Google Doc I did in February 2019. I think maybe right before I came like to your place for a week in 2019. That was when I stayed for like over a week.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like right around then. And I did a NFT research document about CryptoPunks. And I took a screenshot, and the average sale trading price that week was $45. So I'm gonna next time. And so it's just like that. And then I went, that's hard to swallow regret, but like that's just one of like a dozen that I've had to live through.
Right.
So it's pretty fascinating. You know, it makes it's definitely like emotion. You have to deal with the emotions. Like you should have pressed that button and you'd just be sitting pretty. But you know, that's why I was, you know, texting you and Mick in the I'll do it chat, because I had to sell. Like I had no choice. Like I didn't want to, like, going from here, I thought we were going to kind of go like the traditional way and like go like we do and kind of roll, but then this is like inverted here, and then I kind of got caught a little in here, and I thought like when this inverted, that was like around the Facebook days, and that threw me for a loop, because that was big money moving in as like a last gasp, but I thought this is going to be another kind of bull cycle. So that's when you know, late last year I first started buying Solana NFTs, and that's when you switched from Ethereum to Solana NFTs. And so this whole journey, I had like a big pile of money that I should have been managing the risk on, but I also had 3 consulting jobs that were paying me pretty good. And, you know, so I was more caught up in like the stresses of those, where I should have been just realizing how much money I had and taking risk off the table. Like I should have been selling my Bitcoin. I should have been selling the cake all in here. And I would have much more than a year runway, but it's fine. So when it started crashing, like that hurts, you know, obviously. And then this little rally into here, I sold some pancake the day of the top here, because I was like, I knew the market, like this hurts. And I lost like 200,000 in like a week.
That's crazy.
And then like this was like a gift, but I remember I was like finalizing the point of all this is crypto's life changing, but it's not easy. Like easy streets, it's not easy. Like you have to go through the grind. You have to be organized. Like you have to have the taxes. Like, and I'm talking to make big money, like to make like a couple $1 million. You have to have everything buttoned up. And like I knew this reaction was like a gift here. So I sold 1,000 cake for like $10, almost $10 each year. Where now I'm selling cake for $4, where there was so much. So I knew the dump was coming. I had a document. I was going to start to put some shorts on, because if you've got a couple $100K in crypto, well, you just borrow like $50K in Bitcoin. So this is what I should have done. I should have went to like ApeSwap. I should have borrowed $50K in Bitcoin, sold it, shorted Bitcoin to hedge my exposure. Because then what I could have done is I could have bought the Bitcoin back now, made like 30 grand, and then used that to live, then kept all my crypto. So you just kind of, if you have like a big boat, you just like hedge the boat, and then you can just basically live on that. So I didn't do that. I didn't do that right. Like I was gonna do that. I didn't make a big move to short it. And then these happened so fast. Like this meltdown was so fast. And then the Luna thing happened so fast. And like, this was just, I don't know if you've seen on Twitter that meme. It's like the boat meme, the bear whale, where they're watching. Have you seen that?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right, because well, maybe we should try to find it. I don't know. It's kind of funny.
I was gonna say, while you're pulling that up, I got a story that I think is relevant to today. I have it pulled up too on Magic Eden, but I hold it over Jenny's head all the time. But when I was, back in January, buying a lot. I was buying every day, just kind of just haphazardly throwing my money around because I'm like, there you go. I was just kind of like, I was just kind of like haphazardly throwing my money around because I'm like, I just want to expose myself to as much stuff, to ride as many rides as I can, and just kind of get a feeling for like a trial by fire kind of thing. And I remember DeGods came out and minted back in January, and I was like, all right, these look pretty cool. People seem to be talking about these, and I'm looking at like, let's say January 22nd of this year. It was at a 4.5 floor price. And Jenny was like, I don't like the way that those look. I don't think you should get it. And I didn't get it. Like
it was so DeGods was 4.5 and Solana was maybe 280.
No, not in January. Let's see. November was its peak. Let's see.
Oh, so January, yeah, it pulled down quick. So Solana in January, Solana would have been 180.
January, it was like 94, 95 bucks. It was like right around that dip in January 20th, 26th, somewhere in that neighborhood.
So under $500 DeGod.
Under $500. Oh, that was And I was like, and Jenny looked at it and she's like, I think that's ugly. And I'm like, all right. I mean, it's like a big purchase. And now it's something that like we monitor all the time. There was another one too, Reptilian Renegade. Do you know about this one at all?
I think you told me about it at some time.
There was a ton of hype. I bought it for seven Sol, and I think it was when Solana was at like $50, so it was like $350, whatever. And it got up to 60 Sol, and then I was on my way home from the gym, and I see my Twitter blowing up with people talking about how it rugged, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And
what did you get in at?
7,
and it got up to 60. So you did a 5x,
and then it rugged
like $500. So you 5x, so it's 500 into like 2,500.
And the problem, what's nice is that it's kind of making a comeback. So I'm waiting for it.
Oh, so then it rugged.
It rugged. So I'm just caught.
That was when we were at the pool, and your mom texted you. That's when we were at the
that's like the day that it was happening. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna hang on to this. Obviously, can't sell it for bag of rocks right now. So it's getting back. It's climbing back. So
you rode that up. You rode that up where you could have made a nice month paycheck almost. And then
dude, I'm talking overnight. It happened. Like it wasn't like a long term.
Right when you minted, it happened overnight. Okay, and then rugged real quick.
So I didn't even mint it. It minted for like 2, I think, or something like that. And then I saw it exploding, and I'm like, 7, and I just bought one. Because after I bought it for 7, it was 10, 15, 20. Like it was just exploding. It was just like it was a wild ride because it happened immediately, and then it was maybe like 2 or 3 days later when it rugged. It was crazy.
So yeah, what do you like? My thoughts are you have to sell. I'm in this I'm in this as like an academic pursuit, but I'm also in this this is the work. Like this is my work, and you have to sell. Like you have to unless you want to just like study things.
Well, it depends on what your intentions are going into it. For instance, like a DeGod, you don't just sell because what you're getting is the value of the community And when you're a DeGod, you're basically getting opportunities for whitelists on every blue chip project out there. So like your
that's true.
DeGod is your ticket. You know what I mean? So, and it's not just the DeGods that are doing this. I keep using them as the primary example, but there's plenty of other projects out there that afford you the opportunity to get into premier whitelists, like Solana Monkey Business, like you had. OK Bears is another one.
Yeah.
So these are big time projects that Cats on Crack. That's another one. So like you have these projects that they're not going to be as volatile because they're such a solid community and provide strong utility if you're engaged in the space and active. Now there's other ones, like there's one right now called ABC. It's the most wild thing I've ever seen in my life. So it literally, are you on Magic Eden or no? Like, do you have a tab open?
Yeah.
Dude, I got to show you this. It'll blow your mind. So go to the popular ones, or just type in ABC. It'll come up. So click on that. This minted for 1.2. Okay, look at this art. Okay, a 5-year-old did it. Okay, now let me point this out to you. There's no social media platforms. There's no Discord. There's no utility. No one knows who made it. That's it. That's the project.
Wait, so you say it minted for 1, but how much was Sol worth when it minted?
It was a week ago.
Okay, so this did a 20x.
Yeah.
In a week.
And it's continuing to just explode. It's like the mystique of this project is like drawing people to it. It's been wild to see. I talk about it every day in the show. It's nuts.
So what's the point here? Yeah, I think like
you just have it.
These things just almost don't make sense, but they do and they don't. It's weird.
It's like on a meta level, it makes sense in a very, laser focused way. It's like, what the heck? This makes no sense. But it's like,
yeah,
I think they have communities. So there's like people talking about it. I think they know the artist, maybe. I don't know, but it's just been wild to see the rise of this.
Yeah, that's cool. I love it because at the bottom of all this is like people are just trading crypto and they're using crypto. It's empowering people. It's giving people like opportunity. Like maybe this artist is in, some developing country and now can buy your parents a house like that. Like that's the power.
Well, and I love the expect the unexpected part of it too, because it does get discouraging sometimes to think, okay, well, there's one project that like there's still these opportunities out there. This is like what we were talking about before is there's projects that explode on a daily basis. It's just, got to be in it to win it, got to be, networking and talking to people and seeing what's coming down the pipe, and it just expose yourself to a lot of stuff like this this happens regularly. This is crazy. Imagine if you minted like 5 of these for 1.2. So for like $200, you could have had 5 of these. And then all of a sudden you got...
Yeah, well, that's... Yeah, then you got 5x. Then you're gonna have $1,000, and then that's. But there's not there. It's like there's not that liquid. Like this, you probably couldn't dump. How many could you dump?
Well, look at the activity. That's the crazy part.
Maybe you could.
Look at the activity. I always, people are buying these things like crazy.
Nice.
13, 23, 36, 39, 43. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. So so our goal is it's fun. It feels good to hit one of these.
Yeah.
And make some money. So on my side of things, I'm focusing on. So I had this idea. I'll finish the kind of the macro of the frame. So kind of how you were saying about like DeGod, like if you had a DeGod now, you would never sell it. Like you would just get value from the community. It's like real important to you. So an analogy for that to me is Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin was something where I was like pretty sure, and I just changed my mind basically out of survival in the last month. Like this was kind of big deal where I was just pretty sure long-term Bitcoin's going to go to 1 million, it's going to reach gold parity. It will maybe double gold because it's better and more useful. So this was my kind of thesis, and I thought maybe I didn't think it'd happen this cycle. I thought there'd be a double bubble. I thought this would come later, and I thought this would go to like 250,000 or something. So my DeGod was just Bitcoin, get more Bitcoin, don't sell Bitcoin, and that was my thesis. But now I'm just, one, I kind of sold out of survival just to like have reserves and be able to buy the bottom if there is a true winter, if Bitcoin does, because what happens every time is like people just forget about it and go away, and it's not going to go away now. Like there's new blood in, there's a lot more stuff happening. It's not going to go away like it does, but there, like this COVID low is pretty low here. Like the COVID low on Bitcoin, it rounds it off, but Bitcoin was 30. It went down to like 3,300. It went down to like 3,400 here.
Something to keep in mind too is I think the holidays do have an influence on crypto in general too. Once families get together and start talking about this stuff. I remember the one year, maybe 17 or 18, it just took off, and I remember people attributing that, the holidays to that big spike.
Yeah, and I mean that's part of it, and that's definitely, yeah. So that's definitely part of it, and like things when they run, like, so maybe here's the move, and then maybe the holidays were like that, that blow off top.
The amplifier.
But like seasonally, Bitcoin does like to run in the in the December, like all the bubbles were into the winter, like all the bubbles were like into Thanksgiving. I don't know. So maybe back here when it was just so small, the seasonality of it, just more people learning about it had an impact. But I don't think that would be the case now, because and part of why I sold and I'm trying to get to the bottom, I'm trying to buy back in on the bottom, is I think Bitcoin in general sort of lost its edge as more participants enter a market. It becomes like harder to compete. Mm-hmm. So as like a guy seeking undervalued assets back here, we had an edge on Bitcoin. We were right. We had an edge. But now it's just moving with the stock market. Like this whole move here, this whole crash, and then this whole move here, which a lot of them doubled. Like Ethereum almost doubled. Like this crash into June was all the stock market this was all Fed driven when they raised the interest rates. And then you get a rebound rally because you had a summer relief rally in crypto. And so that was my opportunity to get out. I didn't want to watch like the 300 grand I had in crypto crumble to like 50 grand when I have these obligations and like not enough reserve in the bank. So that's why I sold. I just changed my mind. Like I sold my DeGod. Bitcoin was like my DeGod. Without the community, it gives you that sort of cred. You can kind of just get in places. I guess it's sort of like that, but the NFT, elite, like it makes it more attractive because there is a legit community there and there is value in those whitelists. And so,
what do you think the crash? Where do you think it's going to crash to? If you had to guess.
And so, like where it feels like, and this is where, when we kind of structure the show, I think we can kind of get into some macro stuff in the beginning, and then kind of run through the news or something, and then maybe do like a deep dive or something. But I think it's going to crash. It's always it's always changing. It's becoming really volatile, and this is where I'm getting a lot of insight with Pie Guy, because like I'll set it up for another time, but I can go show you some of like his charts and his forecasting and his computers. He had a panic cycle, like literally the day, like this week was like a panic cycle on his computer. And so like his analysis is pretty close, but it's not like one dimensional. There's like multiple variables impacting it. Like he's calling for 2023 to be like the year from hell. Like there's some global political risk. Let's see. This is not playing well. All right, so I like it could selling, like I basically sold all into here. I was out, and it could be a bad move. Like it could be a mistake. There's definitely room to rally. Like if this forms, kind of a nice pattern, there's definitely room for a rally in here. And I think that's the rally that's going to trap a lot of people, because this is like your bear market rally. But then if we get another kind of like bear market rally, people will think it's a new bull market. And if that happens, like I'm going to sell everything. I'm going to get out completely. I'll have a reset. All the tax work will be all reset to like a new basis. Like I'll have a fresh start basically. And then like I'll try to buy in on the bottom. But the market, the world, everything just looks pretty weak. And Bitcoin is just almost just like tick for tick matching the stock market. And so if the stocks just rally into September, like Bitcoin's going to rally. If the stocks crash, so it's, you look like as someone seeking undervalued assets, you almost lose your edge. Like the edge is gone now. And so the edge I'm looking for now, and the reason I got out of Bitcoin is because I think Ethereum is going to flip Bitcoin into the next cycle. And so I wanted to come back in. And it's going to be the coolest thing. It's going to be the coolest thing that happens to the industry. It almost happened in 20. It got pretty close. It got within like 20%. Like right now it's half the market cap. But in this head fake here, when we had this move to 4, and then we had a kind of a pullback in this like it was like the pre-move down here. These are the new era days, but when we had this like pre-move, and we had this move and then this move, the pre before the blow off. Ethereum, this is when Ethereum, it was trying to flip Bitcoin. It felt like it might do it. It just definitely had the support, and it didn't do it. And then Bitcoin took off. So that was actually the signal I was looking for. I was looking for that signal again. We didn't quite see it going into here, but I do think, and so yeah, I'm getting out. It could be a mistake. Like we could go back, back to here. It's gonna go back eventually because, what's happening is, and I was wrong. Like this move here, I really don't think this was like a crypto industry innovation move. Like I don't think like one of the memes is like, oh, like when the real utility, when the real people are here, like when the real people show up. Like I don't think that ever happens. I think people are gonna come and they're gonna go. And when they go, a couple people are gonna stay. Like I think you're maybe not one. I think you're maybe 10 out of 100 who are gonna stay. Like it's different now. It's definitely different this time. But most people, my hypothesis is most people are gonna go away. And if most people go away again, Bitcoin's gonna bottom at like 12. Maybe 10, maybe you get a panic down to 8, and that's the time to strike. That's the time where if I do just kind of walk the tightrope the whole time, just like sitting on my reserve, waiting to strike, like, that's how you can like 10x like 100 grand. And that my goal is to 3x 100 grand, and I want to 3 to 10x 100 grand. And so the way I'm looking at it is kind of how you were saying, just heavy research. You got to just be in it. You have to just wake up and just live and breathe this stuff. And so I'm kind of coming in. So here's all the work I've done the last couple of weeks.
Wow, look at that.
Basically come in on the bottom. So we just talked, like I want to come in at 8. I want Bitcoin to hit 8K, and then I'm going to deploy 100K, like, fast, because this happens fast. Like it happens fast because I don't think this move was like Bitcoin innovation. This move right here, and like now the volatility that we're getting, it's the money printing. The Fed basically doubled the money supply after COVID, and that money just had to go somewhere. So it went into houses, it went into Pokemon cards, it went into Cryptcoin, it went into cryptocurrency, it went into trading cards. That's just what happened, like that. And so like now they're trying to pull it back because they can't have just wild inflation, but and so they're going to pull it back to try, but they can never pay the debt. And so the US owes so much money to the point where like I think 30% of like the money that the US makes goes to pay interest. And so like if you had a household that was run like that, you would just blow up and go bankrupt, like at some point. And so that's basically what we're looking at in the next 10 years with the whole macro backdrop. And so the only way out of it is they just have to keep making money less valuable. And so you just keep making, but then, the assets are going to catch up with it. So right now, like dollar's stronger, economy's weak. That's why these assets are going down, but it's going to flip like the stock market, guys. Like if they just started if they started printing money again, Bitcoin would go to 200K tomorrow. And it's not a function of the value of Bitcoin. It's a function of so many other things happening in the world.
I see.
I'll just pause now because that dumped a lot, I guess.
No, that's interesting, man. When you get going, you just gotta let you go. It's interesting to get your perspective on that, man. That's the point of the show, man. I'm the one side of the coin, you're the other, man. We're very different, but I think we complement each other's strengths pretty well.
Yeah.
I was actually going to say my dog is freaking out, so we've been on for an hour and 15. Might be a good time to jump up.
You want me just to sum it up? Let me just finish. I'll sum it up, and then we could check it out.
Yeah.
So to sum it up, like I'm looking at, maybe we see a bounce. Like there's definitely room on the chart to see a bounce. If we do, that's I think a time to just get out, and then hopefully we see a proper bear market. Hopefully we see, maybe Solana back at $6. Like Solana at $6. How would you feel about Solana at $6 for like half of 23?
Going back to what we talked about, man, I don't look at Solana NFTs specifically in dollar amounts. I look at it in terms of Solana. So I'd be thrilled if it went to $6 because
it's an opportunity. That's the opportunity to then into the next cycle, really go to town. So all the work I've been doing is, basically on this portfolio theory. Like I want to come in with a bunch of projects, spread a lot around, because I've never done this. I've really never spread it around. Like usually I make, 5 or 6 bets at a time. So I'm just trying this new theory, and we can go through these maybe, one here and there, but I'm kind of setting this up tight where I've got, the allocation. Like if I want to deploy 50, it blows out, so it all blows out. So you can see, and then I want to do it based on rounds. So if we get like a panic in October, maybe I'll deploy a little bit, but then if it legs down a little bit, you don't want to ruin your whole money. So so this is what I kind of want to have just be a part of the show. It's just like my journey. And
I love it, man. I just love this candid conversation. It's a lot easier to have it with somebody else as opposed to me just talking into a camera once a week by myself. So let's do it. Fridays at around noon. We'll just go live every Friday and talk about it.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Sounds good. So there's a bunch of stuff I didn't get into, but I think the conversation is just good. So we'll just maybe
And just to give you an idea, like what you just asked, you said, would you be happy if Solana went to 8? Well, no, we mentioned. I guess we started the show talking about DeGods, so we'll finish talking about them. But if Solana goes to 8, per your example, and let's say the floor price stays at 500, I could get a DeGod for $4,000. It's $18,000 right now. I see that as a massive.
Would you buy a DeGod for 4,000?
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm doing. I wake up every day and I'm trying to just see.
It wouldn't even be a question.
All right. So then maybe we can do a little chart like this for NFTs. Oops. Can you see? Oh shoot! What screen can you see?
It's zoomed in real close on your Google Doc.
Okay. So maybe we can do a chart like this, where the way so ETH, like I want to come in, I want to have just as much Bitcoin as ETH. Like if we get a true bear and a bottom, and then I've got how much, based on how much I'm allocating, I've got the different deployment rounds, and then I've also got 3 different buy targets. So my buy target is 1,000 ETH. So at 1,000 ETH, I'm gonna buy 2. And then, and here's the correction we need to get that. So I've got 3 different buy targets. So what it's doing is just trying to take the emotion. It's just trying to take the emotion out of trading.
It's hard. It's hard to take that emotion out, but it's pretty essential.
So who's bugging you? Maverick's bugging you down there?
Yeah, he's got to be.
All right, cool. Well, this was great. Thanks for setting it up. And
this was awesome, man. So every Friday, I love it. Maybe we'll do a live in Buffalo.
Yeah, wait, you'll be here next Friday? Or we can do a live show.
A week, 2 weeks from today.
Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna go see all those Jamooks tonight at Herb's.
Nice. Just call me.
They're doing the fantasy draft.
Oh God, it probably already started. I quit.
Well, they changed it. I think they're playing golf today.
A bunch of morons. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it. I was looking at the other camera that I usually have. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, drop a comment. Let us know what you think. If you want us to cover anything specifically always let us know. We're up for anything. This is just a free-flowing show. We're going to do it on a weekly basis. And Byrd, any last words, brother?
Putzing and panicking. We're going to turn it around. And we had to both go for $1 million next cycle.
See you when we're rich, baby. Scrooge McDuck type money. All right, later, folks. See ya.
Are we still on?
No, we're good. You know what? Oh, no, never mind. We're good. We're good.
All right. That was good. Yeah, that was cool.